Thanks for stopping by again, friends, family, readers, strangers. It's Lizbeth Meredith. L.A.Meredith.com is my website, and you can find me on Facebook, my author page, Lizbeth Meredith Fan. Anyway, tonight I was just watching a show on Midlife Slump, and it got me to thinking about a huge change that happened in my life about 10 years ago. At the time, I was in my early 40s. I'm now 53, about to turn 54. But then I was just in my early 40s. My daughters were grown or leaving the home. And I felt like, wow, I had my whole future ahead of me. But there I was, having been the sole supporter of two kids for, since 1990, going to have a house all by myself. I'd always thought that I would meet someone and that I would be able to travel because I'd be richer, because I'd met someone and wouldn't be alone. And then I realized that I was going to have to face the future all by myself, just thinking about my needs. And yeah, I needed to pay off a little bit of debt back then, but what would I do with myself? There would be no one to ask. It was just me. It was depressing at first. And then it was like, wow, it's just me. It's just me. I get to make decisions about what I want to do in the future. All by myself. I don't have to consult with anyone. And suddenly when I thought about it and started warming to the idea, I knew it was time to address some of the things that I'd always wanted to do. I had always told myself, like so many women, well, you can't travel overseas by yourself. I mean, that could be dangerous, right? Or couldn't travel overseas by myself. I wasn't wealthy enough. And then it hit me. I get to make my own decisions. I am well versed in sticking to a budget. And I like being the person who decides what I'm going to do next. It could be fun. So I went from a place of feeling like I was a victim. Wow, I'd done all these things, tried to do things right, and life didn't turn out the way I thought it would. Woe is me, to wait a minute, there is potential that things could turn out even better than I ever thought. So I kind of worked on, paying off some debt. I one time went on a group travel event with 3 friends. We went to Morocco, Spain, and Portugal. And that was when the kids were grown. And that was interesting. I learned a lot about myself and how much I got tired of consulting with other people about what do you want to eat, where do you want to stay, what do you want to do today. Kind of as a single parent, you did all of that already, right? I'd already asked other people or put other people's needs above my own for decades. So now I realized I want to do this alone. I booked a trip to Laos a couple years later and Vietnam. And it was there I learned that really, I could have a fun time and make great friends going all by myself. I found one place for $8 a night. I'd stayed a week in Laos, and with all of my entertainment and housing and food, the entire week cost me $200. $200 total. If I, as an Alaskan, flew over to Hawaii, I could easily spend $200 in one day. So it was pretty exciting. I just thought, wow, there are ways that women can travel alone, that I can pursue a lifelong dream and go for it. It's a modified dream. It may mean that I do some things to eat cheaper or make certain choices, but it could be pretty darn fun. So it was from there that I made some friends. Some were from Australia, some were from other places in the world, and then I started going to those places they were from sometimes. I made a friend in Rome, in Italy one time. And then when I went to Australia, I visited the friends that I met in Laos, friends that I met in Vietnam, friends that I met in Seward, Alaska, friend that I met in Rome. All of those people I got to see in Australia because I traveled by myself. When you travel by yourself, it can be scary. But on the other hand, you make friends. You may go alone, but if you choose to stay alone and not speak to other people or get to know them, that's your choice, but I feel like I have really missed out. So I not only made friends in the different travels that I've done, I've kept them and I love them. So that's kind of cool. And then when I realized I've always wanted to publish the book that I'd been working on for eons, I took the opportunity and did it. And so by the time I was 51, maybe, now that I think about that, no, I was 51, then I published my memoir, Pieces of Me, Rescuing My Kidnapped Daughters. That was a bucket list thing. So suddenly the midlife slump that I thought I would have and the victimization that I was feeling, it dawned on me that really it was up to me how things would turn out. And like so many of us, I've been through some things already by that age. I'd navigated some turbulence, so really the future looked fairly bright. Maybe not perfect, but darn good enough. So anyway, that's just my meanderings and musings on travel. I'm writing a travel memoir. I hope to travel all the continents before I turn 60, because after that I want to primarily travel a lot of the states that I haven't seen yet in my own country. So that said, I should be booking a trip to South America very soon, and that will be one of the last continents, and then I need to work on Antarctica. My travel memoir will cover some beautiful things that I learned along the way, but also I want to write a little handbook on how it is that a person can budget travel and stay fairly safe and sane and make great friends. Anyway, that's just my thought, and thanks so much. Have a good night.